Hey, welcome back to Delectable You, recipes for food and for life. Today we are making vegan, gluten-free, sweet potato pizza crust. Oh, this is so good. And especially if you're a pizza lover like me, but you can't eat gluten anymore, this kind of solves all of your problems. I got the recipe from my new favorite cookbook, Blissful Basil. I adapted it a little bit, and I'm going to show you what to do. All right, so as you can see here, I've got some sweet potatoes, otherwise known as yams. Actually, technically, these are yams. Orange yams, sweet potatoes are actually white fleshed, but we can get into that later. Let's just call these sweet potatoes for now. I baked them at 400 degrees with the skins on. I just poked some holes in the potatoes whole, baked them at 400 for about 40 or 45 minutes until they were nice and tender like this. You can do that, or you can peel them and chop them up into cubes and fry them or roast them or do whatever you need to do to cook your sweet potatoes. You're gonna need about 2 3/4 to 3 cups, maximum 3 cups, but no less than 2 3/4 of cooked sweet potatoes. And you're just going to pour them into a bowl, and you're gonna smash them up. Use a fork, use a potato masher, use whatever you can to smash these guys up. All right, these are just about smashed up, yeah. All right. Okay, so as you can see, I've got some chia seeds that are mixed in with water here. So they're kind of gelatinous. It's half a tablespoon of chia seeds mixed with a tablespoon and a half of water that have been sitting for about 10 minutes. And this is what's gonna help keep our crust together without eggs or any kind of gluten or anything to keep it together. Next, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of almond meal, half a cup of coconut flour, or I'm sorry, 1/4 cup of coconut flour, 1/4 cup of sweet sorghum flour, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, a teaspoon of Himalayan pink sea salt, this, about a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil, about a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and that's about it. So now we're just gonna mix this all together. Okay, that looks like it's about combined. Now what you're gonna do is just put this aside, and you're gonna get yourself a baking sheet, and you're gonna line it with parchment paper or a silicone baking mat. I love these mats. They're great for cleanup and environmentally friendly because you don't use parchment paper and have any waste. However, if you don't have any parchment paper on hand, no worries. So you're going to, or I'm sorry, if you don't have a mat on hand, just use parchment paper, that's okay. So we're gonna pour our sweet potato dough onto our parchment paper or silicone baking mat lined baking sheet. Don't want to waste a morsel. Okay, now you can use your hands. Hopefully they're clean. Use your hands and the fork, and you're just going to spread the dough around. And you want it to be pretty thin, but not so thin that it'll fall apart. So I'd say like probably like a 1/4 inch thick, and try to keep it, I'm just gonna use my hands. Try to keep it in a rectangular shape. This is a pretty large baking mat, so I'm probably not gonna push it all the way to the end, or baking sheet rather. All right, this looks about good to me. It's not a perfect rectangle, but that's okay. I don't really wanna go any thinner. All right, that's it. So I've got my oven that has been preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna put this in for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until the edges start to get nice and golden brown and it's baked through. And then we'll have sweet potato pizza crust. I smell pizza crust. Oh yes, this is perfect. So it's just starting to split a little bit, which tells me that it's ready. And you see how it's nice and brown along the sides? This is fantastic. This is ready. So what I'm gonna do from here and what you're gonna do from here is you're gonna dress the pizza any way that you would normally dress a regular pizza. So I am going to put some pesto on it. You know me, I've always got pesto in the freezer. I'm gonna put pesto, caramelized onions, roasted peppers, roasted tomatoes, and I'm gonna put it back in for 5 or 10 minutes just to let everything get warmed up. If you are just kind of gluten-free and you'd like to have cheese on it, go ahead and put some cheese on it and put it back in the oven until the cheese starts bubbling and it's melted. Basically, do whatever you want. But that's it. That's how you make this sweet potato, vegan, gluten-free pizza crust. I hope that you enjoyed as much as I do. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been Lauren with Delectable You, and I will see you again next time.